Hey guys, it's Syama here, CEO of Scaling Retail. You are joining me as we walk through a pop-up shop for one of our clients, Atiana. Now, this was Cinta's and Friends. Small pop-ups can have a really big exposure and impact for a lot of different brands. So let's take a look, walk on through, see how we're merchandising, and see what brands we have here. So what's interesting here is we're seeing some really great merchandising between how brands are being displayed, but then also kind of looking at it from merchandising an entire look, right? So down here we have shoes from shoe brand Atiana. What's really fascinating about these is they kind of open and they're interchangeable, which I really love. And when you start to think about how you can, really feature and showcase different kinds of brands, merchandising an entire look together, I think is something that, again, a lot of different retailers can do a lot better of, right? But I think this looks really beautiful. Personally, I'm a big fan of neutrals, and I love kind of matching things back for a really nice look. So as you kind of think about the different ways in which pop-ups can be really helpful, you'll notice that we have merchandise here, groups of 3, right? So normally speaking, you would have different size runs available to make it really easy. It used to be in the past when you had a lot of luxury and small pop-ups, you would have just one style, right? And you would just almost have a very crowded sales floor in order to showcase everything. But as consumer behavior has changed, we've actually found that a lot of consumers prefer to kind of direct their own experience, right? They want to be able to touch and feel things and be able to see what sizes are available. The pop-up has been merchandised with a lot of different kinds of brands, which is, again, it's kind of nice to be able to walk into a pop-up and walk out with a look. I think sometimes pop-ups really overly focus on one particular brand and being able to just hone in on that. But when you have a lifestyle or a grouping together, what's great is that someone can walk in, find a few pieces that they like, and end up walking out with an entire look. So what's fun here also is when we think about the brand, so Cinta the Label is kind of taking over this merchandising over here on the left of me, but then we also have Cinta and Friends, which is kind of a nice way of highlighting that, like, hey, we're in this together, right? This is co-branded, this is a curation of my favorite brands. And I really love the ability for designers and brands to come together as they uplift one another's voices. Now, as we walk through pop-up shops, oftentimes we hear from clients all the time, is a pop-up shop a good idea? What does it mean? How do I position it? What's the great location? Well, this particular pop-up shop is on the busy street in Nolita of Elizabeth. Now, Elizabeth Street is great because it's home to brands like Lunya. You have other brands on here like Bash, as well as Atelier Cologne, Cezanne. A lot of other brands are popping up on this street, so it's definitely a hot spot and something that is very high trafficked. Now, when we look at merchandising strategies and the best way to approach a pop-up shop, it's not only equally as important to have the right merchandise show up, but to also have the right experiential landscape and the right experiential environment. So things like having, potted plants are really nice, making sure you have a good mirror, making sure that you have the right infrastructure and fixtures in order to properly showcase the product is equally as important as just stocking it. Furthermore, again, we take a look at customer service. We had a great opportunity to chat with someone who was managing the store and found out that she was extremely knowledgeable in every single brand that was being showcased, right? And so I think this is important as you guys are looking at home to really think about your distribution strategies and how pop-up shops play an important role. It's not always about the high conversion on the dollar. Sometimes it's also about getting that foot traffic and that exposure. Now, this pop-up shop had some rosé in there and had some other kinds of cocktails, and tomorrow night they'll be having like a friends and family and a really fun event and party, and those are also great opportunities to network and meet people, as well as gaining valuable PR and exposure. So the long story of it, pop-up shops remain an amazing strategy. Making sure they're in high traffic locations, as well as it being co-branded, can do a lot if you are a small business. It's not always that you're going to have a small brand that's going to take over an entire shop and have that garner the same traffic as if it was marketed a little bit more like a boutique, right? With multiple different brands able to kind of show and take over space. Now, obviously, it's really great to be able to see our client Atiana out there showcasing her product and being able to really see how that ties back in to an entire lifestyle and an entire look. So, amazing opportunity, guys. New York Fashion Week is definitely the time to be able to have that exposure in busy and high traffic areas like this in New York City. If you're interested in thinking about pop-up shops, want to know how to best integrate that with your marketing strategies, send us an email at hello@scalingretail.com. We'd love to coach you through scaling and growth, hiring the right teams, and making sure that your efforts and finances are well positioned for strategic growth. All right, guys, that's all for me. Talk to you later. Bye.